wrestling. Back and looking 30 years younger. WWE is dead, so he ripped the contract off her and said, "After Fed." Levesque, did you see the news yesterday? The rumors are true. Chris Jericho's back! And it wasn't an April Fool's joke either. He's really back. He came on Dynamite and let everybody know he's made his choice. He's gonna stay right where the best wrestle. He let everyone know 2 words. He's home. There's not too many people in professional wrestling with a resume like Chris Jericho, man. We're talking about 30 plus years. He started off in ECW. Then he went to WCW and he changed the game in the cruiserweight division, having matches with people like Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, and others. Then he went to WWF and had a legendary career pulling off unbelievable moments like beating The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. He went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, had a few banger matches. Then he didn't just go to AEW, he was a pivotal part of getting that company off the ground. This dude is a generational talent. We'll never see anything like this again. And there's a lot of rumors that Chris Jericho coming close to retiring, man. The bidding war between the 2 companies was intense. If you ask me, bro made the right decision, man. Chris Jericho treated WWE contract offer like loud music after curfew and he turned it down. And if you ask me, it was the best decision he could have made. Can you imagine what WWE would have booked for Jericho his retirement year? It would have been filled with being cursed by Danhausen, storylines with the Masked Man, and they would have ended it with him being choked out by Gunther like the last 3 legends. Jericho always had heat with Triple H, not on good terms with Stephanie McMahon, had problems with Bruce Pritchard and Michael Hayes and others in WWE. Why would he want to go back to the Fed? It kind of got me thinking of that old comedy show that used to come on TV. Everybody hates Chris! And to sabotage his retirement, I bet they was chopping at the bit. I'm glad he dodged that bullet.
Likewise, man. I appreciate everything you've been doing for me. Yeah, I think we're good to go. This Friday, right? I'll see you in St. Louis.
So I guess tomorrow on Crackdown, we finally figure out who's been on the phone with Randy Orton this whole time. And it's like, my God, every time I turn around, it's another mystery and I'm over it. We seen Randy Orton looking at the picture of him and his dad, so it could be Bob Orton on the phone. A lot of people think it could be Stephanie McMahon because we just saw her slap the taste out of Raheem's mouth a few days ago on Raw. Some people even saying it could be Kevin Owens. Him, Cody, and Randy Orton got a lot of history. It could even be the final boss, The Rock, but if you ask me, the chances of that happening is like the WrestleMania tickets this year, extremely low, so I wouldn't hold my breath. Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Every time I turn around, we gotta figure this out or figure that out. We're supposed to be tuning in to Raw and Crackdown, not Law and Order. And what makes it worse is some of these mysteries, man, we don't even get a chance to ever figure out. Like, what was The Rock's message at Bad Blood 2024? Who attacked Jacob Fatu? Who was Adam Pearce on the phone with? Who attacked Jey Uso? And many more. Man, I'm convinced whoever works in WWE Creative has never been to English class a day in their life. I literally learned this in the 1st grade. If you're gonna write a story, it needs a beginning, a middle, and an end. WWE does a beginning, and like you're in a conversation and your phone losing service, it just cuts in the middle. And man, they don't even pick it back up half the time. WWE storylines is like a lazy person making a New Year's resolution. Oh, why you say that, Bobby Monsoon? Because they might start it, but they never finish it. And this is ridiculous! Now, speaking of storylines being all over the place, always switching up, not finishing, it's a good segue into the worst faction that's been booked in recent memory, The Vision. But we gotta spell it right, y'all. Division. Division! Because they should have broke this group up a long time ago. They literally went from Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker to I Show Speed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul. This is crazy. WWE went from The Vision being a group that was supposed to build stars to a group that's literally counting on celebrities to get them over. And there's been rumors for WrestleMania 40 snooze that they're gonna do a 6-man tag match. The Usos and LA Knight versus The Vision and I Show Speed. And it's like, come on, man. This is the most thrown together crap I've ever seen. This group leaves more questions than answers, like what's going on with Gunther? Is he a part of The Vision now? Are the next two members Gunther and I Show Speed? What about Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker? There were rumors that Braun Breaker was actually cleared to compete in WrestleMania, but they decided not to go with it because there wasn't enough time to tell the story on TV. We still might see him make an appearance at Mania or the Raw after, so we'll see about that. WWE keeps a medical staff on deck, but maybe it's time to invest in the eye doctor too, because it's clear that the Vision is not working. And it's embarrassing, man. This company is booking this like they're on a road trip with no map or no GPS. They don't know where they're going or what they're doing. Maybe that's a big reason why they're losing. This ad is brought to you by the Pirates in the chat. Go to BobbyMonsoon.com. Get your Ruthless Depression era t-shirt. If you're sick of the BS in professional wrestling, if you're sick of the soulless billionaires taking advantage of the fans, show them you had enough. Go to BobbyMonsoon.com. Get the Ruthless Depression era t-shirt. Then, now, and never again! Dynamite started off with Tony Schiavone coming out ready to mediate the contract signing between MJF, Kenny Omega. The pyro's going off. He's looking like, what's going on? I'm thinking there's some glitching. I'm thinking there's some sabotaging from Paul Levesque and TKO, but it was none of that. It was actually Y2J, Chris Jericho! The cornerstone of AEW, the cornerstone of professional wrestling. Man, this was incredible, man. What a surprise, dog. People swore up and down, even myself. I thought he was going to the Fed. I was hoping he wasn't. But when I seen Jericho stayed on that AEW roster, I look at that as a telltale sign that, man, bro was going to stay with AEW. He was going to stay with the best wrestler. Like I said, what was WWE going to book for Chris Jericho? Absolutely nothing but jobbing him out. He made the right decision. He made the best decision. I can't wait to see what Tony Khan and Chris Jericho is going to book for this run for Jericho, man. Bro is looking like he's in his back in his 20s too. Single-digit % body fat. 55 years old. Looking like he's 25. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for matches with Jon Moxley, Kyle Fletcher, Speedball Mike Bailey, some of the younger guys, Kevin Knight, classics with Okada, Takeshita, endless classics that we got with Chris Jericho, man. I want to see some good things on his run with AEW, bro. I think that his retirement in his last match, if his last match is with AEW, I think it'll be bigger and better than the Sting match. I know that's a high bar to reach, but trust me, we talking about Chris Jericho here, man. So I think he can make it happen, dog. I'm happy to see Jericho back. After that, you got the contract signing between MJF and Kenny Omega. MJF, one of the best heels in the business, one of the best heels to ever do it, cutting a promo that only the devil could cut, telling Kenny Omega that, man, you was better off dead. Kenny Omega letting people know he had 24 inches of his intestines cut out of his stomach, man. He was a long road back to recovery. He here and he back, and he ain't come back for nothing. He's not gonna leave empty-handed. A lot of people are saying that, man, my man Chris Collins, he said that this might be Kenny Omega last year. A lot of people thinking that Kenny Omega might go over on MJF come on Dynasty. Me, I don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. But I think MJF is on a different run, man. I think if MJF dropped the belt, it's probably going to be All In, if that. You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit too early for him to drop the belt. But if Kenny Omega pulls it off, if this is going to be his last year, if this is the only time to really do this, I can understand that. But we'll see, man. Regardless, this match is going to be a classic come Dynasty. Now, as they was cutting the promo, man, MJF started to get disrespectful. Kenny Omega about to snuff MJF. Speedball Mike Bailey comes out, telling him to chill, tell him to fall back. You know, Speedball is loved in Canada. That's where he's from. He tells Kenny to chill. I got it. So they set the main event matchup. MJF versus Speedball Mike Bailey. But we already knew what the outcome was going to be with that. That led into a match where you had Kenny Omega, Jack Perry, Brody King versus The Demand. This was a cool match. This was a fun match, man. Kenny Omega and Ricochet had a few spots one-on-one, making me want to see Ricochet and Omega sometime in the future in one-on-one matches. But as far as the trios, man, we got to get the trio titles. At least get them a title shot for The Demand, man. I want to see the dogs in the ranking of getting the trio tag team championships. Come on, bro. We still got them on Jet Speed and Mexico. And I think we need to be booking the trio tag team championships for actually the trios that's on the card, man. So regardless, this was a cool match. And you had Kenny Omega getting the pin on Ricochet, and it seems like they're not done. They got some unfinished business. After that, you got Adam Copeland, Christian Cage walking around backstage AEW with steel chairs, man. They almost hit Renee with a steel chair. Christian Cage almost did. Adam had to stop him, man. But they're looking for FTR. They're looking for some get back. They're looking to do some damage. The FTR, they wind up running into two of my homeboys of the Don Callis family. And unfortunately, man, they gave him a beating, man. Hit him with the steel chairs or whatever. But, you know what I mean? It's cool. We going to get some get back on that. Don't you worry, man. After that, you had a match I was looking forward to. Pac versus Will Osprey. And, man, Pac comes out. He's looking like he's all about his business, man. Will Osprey comes out. Somehow Pac teleports. He's already in the ring. Before you know it, he teleports to behind the ring somehow. The attack Will Osprey from behind, man. Slams him on the ramp. Will Osprey starts the match off with his neck really being injured. Again, Pac is on demon time, y'all. Whole match, he's working on the neck. Will Osprey doing a great job selling it. And I said this on my live, bro. There's a few times I'm watching this match. I'm like, man, I wonder if Will Osprey really feeling a little bit of pain. He's doing that good of a job selling, man. So shout out to Will Osprey. Great storytelling in the match, man. But you know, Will Osprey winds up pulling off, winning the match, man. He won the match, but he didn't win the war. The Death Riders come through, jump Will Osprey and put the chair on his neck. Claudio Castagnoli about to end Will Osprey's career, but Jon Moxley stops him. And he tells Will Osprey a chilling message saying, man, let's not make this personal. It's not personal to me, but it's personal to Will Osprey. Jon Moxley, you tried to end this guy's career in front of his family. He ain't feeling that. He needs some smoke. Dynasty, they're going to get it. Now, for me personally, I told y'all this is the match I'm looking forward to the most on Dynasty, man. Even though we all know Will Osprey probably going to go over. Still, man, this is a match that's just deep in the storyline, man. Will Osprey, this is the beginning of his redemption tour, just like Mercedes Moné. Will Osprey need that redemption, and it starts with Jon Moxley. But how it's going to happen, though? We'll find out on Dynasty. This is going to be a fire match. Next, you got the Brawling Birds and Mina Shirakawa going over the Sisters of Sin. This was a cool match, man. It seems like the Brawling Birds are getting their momentum up. They might be challenging Mega Bad for the tag team championships. I don't think they're going over, though. Maybe sometime later on in the year, but not even Mega Bad. I forgot. Penelope Ford got hurt, man. Where is she, dog? I keep forgetting. It's actually Leonard Cross and Megan Bayne. We might get that for Dynasty. Who knows, man? The Brawling Birds having some momentum, but Leonard Cross and Megan Bayne, they're not letting them titles go no time soon. So we'll see how that goes, man. After that, you got Darby Allin coming out, man, letting everybody know, bro, what's up, man? He's letting Kenny Omega know, bro, you my man, but I need that AEW championship. It's only one person that climbed Mount Everest to put the AEW flag up there. It's only one person that's gonna die before getting that AEW championship, or he's gonna get it. He said either one is gonna happen. He's either gonna pass away or he's gonna get the AEW championship. And you know Darby Allin means every single word he's saying, man. So he's on deck for that now. The Don Callis family! My OG Don Callis lets Darby Allin know, hey, man, you want a shot at the AEW championship, you gotta go through Andrade. So at Dynasty, we got Andrade and Darby Allin. I expect Andrade to win this one, but you never know, man. Darby Allin might pull it off, but I expect Andrade to win this one, man. Darby Allin beefing with the Don Callis family is not the best decision he could do, man. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, the last match, we got MJF versus Speedball Mike Bailey. We knew this was going to be a fire match. We also knew the outcome of this match. MJF going over Speedball, man. Speedball really didn't have a chance. MJF coming out with the All-American. He's an American hero, man. He got the flag with his face on it, man. I love MJF, man. Fire match, Speedball Mike Bailey. He took the loss, but he doesn't look like a jobber. He definitely looks like a formidable opponent, and maybe one day we'll see him in the title picture, man. MJF continues to beat Speedball Mike Bailey up after the bell rings. Kenny Omega comes out to save the day. MJF leaves with a triple B around his waist, him holding it up high, letting Canada know that, man, who's the champion, man. Solid episode of Dynamite. Great surprise by Chris Jericho returning. So, you know what I mean? I don't got too many complaints. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. Oh, yeah, Swerve Strickland. I ain't gonna lie, man. I think we might see Swerve Strickland at Dynasty interject in the match with Kenny Omega and MJF. I wouldn't be surprised. One thing I'm scared of is when a killer is silent. If he's sitting up there barking and talking, I'm scared too. But at least I'm seeing what's going on. I get to kind of read his body language. I get to kind of see what's coming before it comes. But when he's silent, when you don't see him anywhere, this is when a killer's most dangerous. So that's no pun intended either. So we all need to stay on high alert for Swerve Strickland and whatever he got up his sleeve. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. Solid show at Dynamite. What you think about who's on the phone with Randy Orton? We get to figure that on Crackdown. Also, what you think about Chris Jericho turning down the WWE contract offer? It was his best move if he wants his legacy to be solidified. It's already solidified, to be honest, no matter what happens. Paul Levesque isn't that powerful. He doesn't have that much power to sit up here and sabotage Chris Jericho retirement run, and I'm happy Chris Jericho didn't even fall into that trick. But let me know in the comments what you think about that. I'm going to see you on Friday for Crackdown. It's Bobby Monsoon 215. Like, comment, subscribe. Blah!